Hey, what's up, Next Level crew? Welcome back to another episode of What's Your Next, the podcast where you find insightful information on business and franchises. And today we got a really great topic, and that topic is, are recession-proof franchises real, or is that just an urban legend? What do you think, Stacy?
Welcome to What's Your Next. This is the go-to podcast for aspiring business owners who want to get to the next level, escape the rat race, and give their middle finger to the corporate 9-to-5. If you want financial freedom, work-life balance, and the business of your dreams, you're in the right place. Dave and Stacy Riska, husband-wife franchising duo, openly share their successes, failures, and lessons learned in franchising, business ownership, and working with your spouse.
Truth or fallacy? Let's debate it today.
All right, so let's start with what actually makes a franchise recession-proof? What do you think?
The R word. So many candidates come to us spewing this word. I want a franchise that's recession-proof, recession-resistant. What the heck does that even mean, right? Well, let's face it. You guys turn on the news, you hear the R word out there, right? It's being spewed about back and forth that we're going into an economic downturn, the R word, recession. So if you want to own a business, you likely want to look at something that is recession-proof, recession-resistant. What the heck does that even mean? Well, what it means is that you would like to own a business that's still going to have high demand. It's needed. People are going to open their wallets no matter what's happening in the economy.
Okay. So then that would be less about the industry that the franchise is in and more about the service being non-discretionary, meaning needed, right?
Needed. Exactly. So look, if you have a hole in your roof and water's pouring in, that's needed. You need a new roof. If your kitchen sink is spewing water all over the floor and you have a plumbing leak, that's needed, right? So these are services where no matter what's happening in the economy, you're going to need to pay for that service. Actually, even many times irregardless of the cost. So that's why they're recession resistant. But on the other side, there are some categories where people will open their wallets. We work with a lot of franchises that are recession resistant in the area of senior care is a great example. Look, if mom and pop are aging, you're not just going to let them wither away, right? You're going to need to find solutions for senior care. That is a recession-resistant industry. Another one are your two-legged children, right? And concepts that focus on education or helping your children. Parents always open up their wallets and spend money on them.
Right. So I actually have one that will probably thrive if we did drop into a recession, and that is one that is a crime scene cleanup franchise.
Who would have thought of that, right?
So if you really want something that's recession resistant, that's probably the opposite, meaning that it's recession good, for lack of a better term. So let's dig here a little bit. What about food franchises? Everybody eats, and everybody thinks when they think of franchises, the first thing that comes to their head is McDonald's or food. What about food franchises in recession?
Well, in general, we tend to lean people away from food franchises, but some of them can actually do well when the economy downturns because we like to treat ourselves. And so you may not go to a 5-star restaurant to do that, but people will whip out their wallet and treat themselves to a smoothie, an ice cream, a donut, something that is on the lower end. And those concepts can do very well.
Right. And here's an interesting fact that most people don't know is that during the Depression in the late 1920s and early 1930s, one of the best selling businesses was ice cream.
There you go.
So meaning that people would they may not even be able to buy shoes, but they might treat themselves to ice cream. So as you can see,
priorities.
So people will, in tough times, look for a way to make themselves feel better. And sometimes it can be simple as ice cream. Mm-hmm. What red flags should someone watch out for when they're looking for a resilient business? I mean, what would be some of the things that might pop up as, potentially looking resilient, but maybe not be so resilient?
Right. Just because it has that, it's recession resistant or recession proof, you still need to do your due diligence. Take a close look at what those startup costs are. Make sure you understand the numbers, especially on item 19 in the FDD. When are you going to make the ROI? You may start off slower because maybe times are tougher right now, but in general, when would you expect to achieve that ROI when things turn around? So actually now could be a really good time to look at getting into recession-proof businesses. There could be some resales out there. People will tend to shy away from business ownership. Mom and pops will usually tend to, hunker down and they don't spend money on marketing. And this is where franchises really excel. The great ones are masters at marketing. They help you generate the leads, book the jobs, help you with the operations and support. And that's why we're so passionate about franchise model as a whole.
Right. And one type of franchise that bodes itself well for doing really well in any economic environment, but particularly stands out in an environment where the economy may not be doing so well, would be businesses with recurring revenue. That means that you are consistently getting money from your customers month after month, regardless of how much service you provide them. Obviously, there's caveats to each one. So I think memberships, gyms, dog grooming. There's a lot of different types of models out there where they've built in a nice recurring revenue model, and that keeps you coming back, even though you may not necessarily want to get your pet groomed. You already paid for it, so you might as well go ahead and do it, right? So that's kind of a good type of model for any economic environment. So these are some of the key things to look for if you really believe we're going into some type of economic downturn, and looking at franchises if that is something that you are doing at this moment. Do you have anything else to add, Stacy?
I think we covered the high points today. What's most important, obviously, is finding a business match that makes sense for you and your goals and your lifestyle. And there are many recession-resistant business models out there. Which one is the perfect match for you? Well, contact us. We'll help you find that perfect match.
Right. So thank you. Great information today. Not a great topic, obviously, but a real topic in today's world. We thank you for joining us on this episode of What's Your Next. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click all those nice buttons below. It really, truly does help us out with the algorithms. And we appreciate you being here. We'll catch you on the next episode of What's Your Next.